Well, hello, and happy Monday to everyone. Every time I click the live button, it just reminds me of how quickly time passes. 3 weeks ago, I said at the beginning of this experience to go live every single day in the month of August. And here we are coming into our last week for this. It has been quite the journey. We have been on a journey over the last few weeks that I'm hoping has energized you to move forward in your own corporate to entrepreneur journey, but I know for certain it has energized me. It has made me even more resolved about the thing that I feel confident that I am called to do in this season, which is really to help women make that journey from corporate to entrepreneur, a way to continue your career success. In this experience, we started by talking about misalignment. That is that quiet but heavy feeling when success on paper no longer feels fulfilling to your soul. This nudge that you feel, this quiet discontentment that you feel, is really an invitation to go higher. Then in our journey, we uncovered that the answer to that misalignment isn't another promotion, it isn't another title. The answer to the misalignment that you feel and sense is purpose. Purpose is rooting your work in who you are, who you care about, and the impact and income you are truly called to create. So, over the course of this experience, we talked about misalignment, we talked about purpose being in the answer. And then last week, we moved from there into positioning. And positioning is where your vision meets a plan and strategy. Positioning is how you build a business on the problem you solve and connect it with the people who are looking to pay you to solve it for them. And now, in this final stretch, we are going to talk about profits, but not just profits as money, because while money is indeed important and we all need it, we know that it isn't the whole story, especially for those people that I work with, because you have achieved success and your heart's desire, that thing you're being nudged to, is more about significance than it is about money. But money has a role to play. Profits, in the way that I teach it, is more about something greater than revenue. It's about sustainability. It's about freedom. And it's about building a business that honors your life and legacy. That is the full comprehensive perspective that I work with my clients to lean into. Profits are the evidence. They are the evidence that your business model works, but also fuels that lets you, it's the fuel that lets you live the life you actually want to live. It's proof that your business model works, and it's fuel that is allowing you to live the life that you actually want to live. So, for these last 5 days in this CEO Shift live stream series, we're going to dive into what profit really means. We're going to dive into how to design it intentionally for yourself, and why the natural outcome of purpose plus positioning is indeed profit when they work together. Now, if you haven't heard it from me before, that is my signature framework. I call it the signature fulfillment framework, because at the heart of it is your fulfillment. The framework is simply purpose plus positioning equals profits. And I've spent the last few weeks going over this intentionally, because I want you to understand how it comes together in order to help you launch the right business. Now, as a definition, from my perspective and in the way that I work with my clients, purpose is that internal driver behind your work. It is the conviction. It is the calling. It is the meaning that makes what you build feel worth the effort. That is what purpose is. And the reason I like to start with it because it pulls you in and it fuels you up. It's not just about what you do. So it's not about skill and function, though that's a part of it. It's not just about who you serve. It's not about your target audience, though that's a part of it. But purpose is the why this works matters to you, why it feels fulfilling instead of draining, and why it deserves to be the foundation of your business. And so we spend a lot of time talking about the disconnect, but the anchor in the model that I work with my clients to build their business around is truly purpose. And for high achieving corporate women, purpose is the piece that moves them from proving themselves in corporate to creating significance in entrepreneurship. It is the piece that makes their business feel like an extension of their values, not just a revenue engine. And purpose anchors them when things get hard because that why keeps you building even when the how takes time. And so it is very strategic for me to guide you to purpose because I want you to be fit for the journey. I want the outcome of the experience to be everything you imagined and more. And we begin with purpose because that's what fills your tank. That's what's fulfilling to you. Purpose, the way that I teach it, is your anchor. It is the thing that is anchoring you. It is not your title. It is not just your skill set. It is a deeper conviction behind the why you're building in your business and why it matters to you. And what I earnestly believe is that without purpose, you'll end up building something that looks good, but doesn't feel good. And that disconnect is no different than the one you're sensing now. This is why leaning into the right business makes sense. And so building the right business has to be one that actually can be sustained by you, fulfilling to you, and really lights you up from the inside. And so that's the reason why purpose is the answer. And that's the reason why my signature framework starts there. Now, after we talked about purpose, we went into positioning. And as a quick reminder, we did a lot of heavy lifting around this last week. But as a reminder, positioning is that oh gosh, I can't talk today. Positioning is that magnetic identity of your business in the marketplace. If I had to summarize it, it is that. It's what's making you magnetic. What is attracting the people who need the answer you're providing? It comes in the way you communicate who you are. It comes in the way that your work matters to you. It comes in the way that you are the trusted choice. You are the trusted choice. So the positioning is what synergizes that. And what typically happens for people who don't have a partner that's guiding them to understand how to make themselves magnetic is you just show up talking about what you do, but you don't show up talking about the difference it makes. You don't understand the differentiating qualities that you need to incorporate in what you do and how you talk about so that you can attract the people who want that solution. It's not just about your niche. Your niche is who you serve. And it certainly isn't just about your title because the title is more what you do, even as an entrepreneur. But positioning weaves together your purpose. It weaves together your distinct method or approach. It weaves together your voice and your presence. And it weaves together your alignment with your ideal client. It weaves all of that together so that you can have strong market positioning. Now, for high achieving women with proven corporate success, positioning is the bridge from being known what you do in corporate to being paid for who you are in business. And see, in corporate, you thrive because of your title. You get access, you get certain things, you get certain privileges because your title holds weight. You thrive because of your role, because of the things that you delivered, the impact that you had. In corporate environments, those things really drive and move the needle. You also thrive in corporate because of your reputation. So between your title, your role, and your reputation inside the organization, that is being known for what you do. But in corporate, where you're known or paid for who you are, it's the positioning to establish credibility that makes a big difference. And I will tell you, one of the things that many women who make this transition fail to do is fully leverage their professional background as credibility in their entrepreneurial positioning. The other thing that positioning establishes is it establishes the necessary information to reduce the risk for your clients. It helps them to understand how you differentiate, and it helps you to stand out in a crowded marketplace. So stronger positioning makes you unforgettable. And that's what we want to be, unforgettable. We want to be trustworthy, and we want to be sought after. So without the right positioning, the risk at being seen as generic, as being seen as replaceable, or just another coach or just another consultant is there. Strong positioning is what rivals that. And that is what you need to be guided into. It's not just about showing up to say, I do this thing, but why are you the expert? Why are you the one? So positioning, especially as I teach it, is not about a tagline or clever elevator pitch. Those things are important, but they are not your positioning. Positioning is this magnetic pull of your business that attracts the people who want you to help them solve the problem. It's the clarity that makes the difference for people leaning in, for them trusting, for them choosing you. It is that clarity that they get from how you show up and discuss the things that you do. So when you're shifting from being known for what you do in corporate to being paid for who you are in business, the key differentiator is your positioning. And oftentimes it is missed because a lot of people just hang a sign out to say you're in business without understanding proper market positioning. So those things were just said as a point of review. I wanted to review for you what we had done. We talked about misalignment. We talked about purpose being the answer. We talked about positioning. But in my framework, when you combine purpose and positioning, you get profits. And that's what I want to talk about for the rest of my time with you this week. Profits is not just about making money, at least not to my client, because my client, my ideal client, understands that they are continuing their success. And money is one of the factors that is going to be returned to them, but there is much more at stake. You see, in my framework, profit actually equals sustainable success. An income that aligns with your purpose, it reflects your positioning, and it supports the desired lifestyle that you want to have. That's profit to me. Profit indeed means exceeding the cost of what it takes. But what makes it feel profitable for you is that it aligns with your purpose, your work does, that it reflects the positioning you're bringing into the market, and it supports the lifestyle that you desire. So if I had to break down profit in the context of where I guide my clients to, it absolutely is the financial return. You want consistent, predictable revenue streams that justify your pivot from corporate to entrepreneur. You want that to happen, and it does when you give it time and have the right degree of expectation. And we talked about some of that last week. But in addition to the financial return, is the personal fulfillment. It's the satisfaction of knowing that your work matters. And I hear that so very often. In fact, I had a call with someone earlier today, and that's what she echoed. She's at one of those pivotal points in her career where she's saying it's not necessarily about the money. I've made good money. It is about the impact that I want to make. I want to know that my work has meaning and I want to be able to see it. I want to see the impact of what I'm doing and the difference that my work is bringing to the market. And that is fantastic. And the last element of profit is lifestyle. It's the FPL: finances, personal fulfillment, and lifestyle freedom. It is the flexibility to design work around your life and not the other way around. That is the profitable version of business. And what has happened for many people, especially those that I work with, is that you've given everything to your career for the right reason. You have navigated to a level of success where you now want to choose freedom. And freedom doesn't mean that I'm just burning down everything that I've accomplished. Freedom also doesn't mean that I'm stopping my effort. Freedom means that I have the flexibility to design work around the life that I want and not the other way around. So the reason why that my clients thrive in this space is because I take them through a process that bursts three different things. We do a proof of concept, making sure that your business works, making sure that your business is viable, making sure that your messaging is resonating, making sure that when you show up and speak about what you do, your eyes light up. And we had some of that in our conversation with Takara last week, how we went through a different stages of ideating in her business until we landed on something that lit her up from the inside out. And she's been able to run with it confidently. And that is the second thing that profits actually mean. Profits means that you're confident about it. You're not just busy. You're not just showing up to do any old thing. You're not being handed off someone else's vision in the context of an MLM or anything like that. You're curating and navigating to what you've been called to do. So you're not just busy, you're building a business that can absolutely grow, that can be a legacy for your family or whichever way you choose. You're confidently leaning into that, and that makes the meaning of it bigger. And then finally, when I talk about profits, especially for my clients, it's choice. Profits create options. Whether you stay in corporate during the build or you decide to go full-time entrepreneur later, you have the power of choice. And when I leaned into that in my own life and I began to walk out this power of choice, I can tell you it's something that I hold near and dear and that I'm going to fight to keep. Fight to keep my lease on the power of choice. Now, when I talk about profit, I don't just mean dollars in the bank. I mean building a business that's worth it to you, worth it to you financially, worth it to you personally, and worth it to you from the lifestyle that you want to live. That's why profits are the outcome of purpose plus positioning. When you're aligned and magnetic, the money you make is sustainable, meaningful, and yours to scale. Let me say that again. When you're aligned and magnetic, the money you make is sustainable, meaningful, and yours to scale. Now, I want to talk a little bit about what profit is and what it isn't in the context of the way I work with my clients. Profit is that evidence that your business model works. It's predictable. It's sustainable income that validates your positioning. It is money earned in alignment with your purpose and lifestyle vision. It's a measure of both impact, how many lives you've touched, and income, how well you've monetized it. And it also is freedom to make choices. Do you want to scale? Do you want to invest? Do you want to expand? Or do you even want to shift how you spend your time? All of that is the profit package, if you will. What it is not just revenue. It is not just gross income without expenses factored in. Yes, there is a profit sheet, But profit, in the sense of it being a package for you, is the things that are going to allow you to continue your success. It is not hustle driven cash that leaves you exhausted. It is not a one time launch or a quick win that cannot be repeated. It is not out of alignment with your purpose. Money that feels empty or costly to your values. And then finally, it is not the only measure of success, but it's an essential one that supports the lifestyle that you want. So when I say profit, I don't just mean money coming in. I mean the kind of success that's sustainable, repeatable, and aligned. Profits prove your business is working, but even more, they give you the freedom to live the life you're building this business for. I want you to build a life that you love, one where your work fits into your life instead of your life fitting into your work. That is the key to continuing your success. Now, when I come tomorrow, I want to talk to you about why starting with profit sometimes misses the mark. I want to go deeper with that. And so I want to invite you to join me again tomorrow. Now, you know, all of this exposure to pulling back the cover on what I believe and how I work with my clients and what kind of thought processes I take you through and what kind of strategies I employ. All of it is so that you can begin to assess where you are and if launching the right business is what you want to do now. I have been talking since the beginning of August about this incredible experience that I am going to be hosting in Charlotte, North Carolina, in person, in a room with some incredible women who are already planning to be there on October 25th and 26th. As a part of this experience, we are going to continue in this corporate to entrepreneur method. We're going to continue in this incredible framework that I've been unpacking for you. This experience is perfect for you if you are ready to move forward towards launching the right business for yourself. Now, pre-sale ends at the end of this week. When we reach the end of this week, the pre-sale will end and you will miss the opportunity to join me at 80% off. 80% off to get a seat in this incredible room and be a part of this incredible experience that we have outlined for you. So this is my personal invitation to you to join me in Charlotte, October 25th and 26th. You need to be in the room. It's the room headed in the right direction towards profit in the way that I shared today. All of the information that has been exposed is just the beginning. There is so much that is going to help you accelerate your success when you join me live in October. So this is your personal invitation to get in the room with me and to experience firsthand what it is to begin to take the vision you have, the one you've been called to, and put a plan and strategy with it so that you can move forward in accelerating your success. So the way that you learn more, the way that you sign up and take advantage of the pre-sale rate is you go to www.theceoshift.live. When you land there, there's a ton of information available for you. There's access to the pre-sale rate, which is less than $100 for the 2 days, to join me in Charlotte. And I am looking forward to seeing you there. So if you've been following along with me, and you know that this has been for you, you are sitting at a green light that you need to give yourself permission to move forward in. You need to be in the room. We need to build a plan and strategy for the business that you just need to get going with. You've delayed it long enough, and you have time now to set a date as to when it's going to have your attention to move forward. It no longer can be this thing that's on the side. It no longer can be the thing you give some attention to. It is time for you to step in to becoming the CEO of your own business. So I would love to see you there. Hey, Abigail, it's nice to connect with you. I would love to see you in Charlotte on October 25th and 26th. This is going to be an incredible experience. Have a great day. And guess what? I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to talk about why starting with profit is not the right strategy. Talk to you then. Bye.